Al, as always, driving the program, getting it done here on the show. If you guys want to get in, it's really simple, man. All you got to do is dial on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Drew Bow says, I'm really concerned about Howard's knee injury or knee surgery. I think at this point, you should be. I think it's normal. Now, that doesn't mean that, look, he's had a couple of procedures. They might have been just cleanup jobs. The question is, and he clearly wasn't himself towards the end of the year, not towards the end of the year, towards the end of his run this year. And you could tell that the knee was bothering him. And obviously they had to shut him down. And he's having another procedure again. The thing, Drew Bow, is, or Drew Boo, I think it says there, you're right to be concerned. The problem is, how far do we go with that concern? And that's the part that you don't know and I don't know, because maybe it's a minor thing and maybe it's something that he could easily play through and it's not going to be an issue for the next few years and he'll be just fine. Then again, maybe it's something chronic. Maybe it's some kind of itis, tendonitis, arthritis, whatever itis there is out there. And maybe that's going to be a problem down the line for him. And then all of a sudden now it'll be a thing that will limit him and he will no longer be the dominant player that he has been in the past for the Miami Dolphins. That's the part that we don't know when it comes to X. And that's where only time can answer that. And if next year training camp rolls around and he looks good and he's flowing and everything's fine, then we'll be all right. If we start seeing some setbacks, if we start seeing a guy that needs a lot of rest because they're trying to protect him, then we know that there's a big problem there. But at the moment, we don't know. So we can't overreact one way or the other, because obviously the one thing that's going to come up right away is going to be, well, wait a minute, you gave him a big contract. You didn't know that this knee was going to be a big issue, and that's going to be the question. So this year was not important because the big picture is, he's part of your future, but it wasn't like you needed him on the field right now to get into the playoffs or do anything significant this year. You weren't going to do anything significant this year. You know that. So it behooves you to actually put him on the IR, get him the scope, the clean, whatever it is, so he can feel better next year. The worst thing you wanted to do, which they tried to allow him to play through it, and he couldn't play through it. So clearly it tells you that it was bothering him. Now, guys, I don't know if it's, a piece of cartilage that got in the way, a small meniscus tear. I don't know if it's a major tear. I have no idea. I have no idea if they took out a whole chunk of what's that called, in the knee, that the cartilage. I have no idea. That you don't know, I don't know. So we have no way of knowing how to react to all of this, because there's been plenty of guys that have had several scopes and cleanup jobs throughout their careers and had a full career and were solid and were great and fantastic and they got by. And that's the part that is unanswered. We don't know how serious this X injury is, even if it is serious. Now, you do have to wonder a little bit and say, okay, there's something going on here, because he's had a couple of procedures. So there is definitely reason to be concerned. Let's just hope that it's not a big concern, and let's hope that it's something that he can overcome. That's all. That's the way I would look at it. 786-322-1105. 1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the show. The other way to reach out to us is on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there. And Instagram, Big O Radio Show. I thought it was pretty cool with the Heat game last night when Spo talked about the challenge of, the young guys and how they didn't play well in Memphis and they were able to bounce back. And we talked a little bit about the character and the culture and everything else that they're proving on a consistent basis. And the beauty also we talked about is that the road win last night against Philadelphia proves that they're the real deal. And some people were a little disappointed that they lost to Memphis, but I mean, you're going to drop a couple of those. What you can't make it is a habit, and that's something that they haven't made a habit. You know what they also haven't made a habit of? You know that this team is 8-0 after a loss this year. It's pretty amazing because you're talking about a team that is very young in certain areas, inexperienced in others. You don't have a lot of veterans that have been there and done it. And yet they have the maturity of a team that plays like they've been in the league for 10 years. The young guys pass the ball. The young guys play with heart. The young guys actually try on defense. The young guys are actually coachable. That's another thing kudos to them. And listen, they dealt with plenty of players like Whiteside and Dion that probably are not coachable. But when you're 8-0 after a loss this year already, that shows me that you're extremely mature to identify your struggle that night, correct the issues, because that's what Spo talked about, that, Phil, they took it hard on them. They had a long film session. And I wonder how long that film session was. One time I was in LaSalle covering the Miami Heat. And that's where their practice court was, LaSalle High School down in by the Grove. And we were there, I crap you not, okay? We were there for 6 hours. 6 hours. Practice lasted a quarter of a day. We all pitched in and sent somebody to Cazola's to go buy several pizzas for all the media members, because everybody put in a couple bucks. Cazola's was right down the street. I forgot which media member went to a couple of them actually went to go get those big giant pizzas, complete pizzas from Cazola's, and dude, it was like a 3-hour practice and a 3-hour film session. Like, Riley was pissed. And I don't think Spo was kind of Riley pissed after, I don't know what happened at that time, why he was pissed or whatever, and why they had those long sessions. I'm sure it had to do with some kind of disappointing loss that he hated, but whatever. But the fact is, Spo ripped into these guys. And for them to take in the criticism and for these young guys, along with the veterans, to bounce back, I mean, think about this. Only the Lakers and Milwaukee are the only other teams this season that have not suffered back-to-back losses. How awesome is that? I mean, last night, 76ers get out to that lead. Miami answers back. They end the first half with this incredible run. And yeah, Philly got it close towards the end, but they never, ever took the lead in the second half. That no matter what charge they made, the Heat answered back. The Heat kept them at bay. Again, maturity. To be able to understand what you did the other night and then come back. And I read this to you before, but I didn't get into it as much. For Tyler Hero, a young guy like this that can shoot lights out, to end up with 9 points and then 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and a steal, man, I can't say enough about that kid. That's incredible. That's a coach all over your ass saying, yo, you're not just the shooter, dude. You can do other things, and we need you to do other things. And that's a good thing about this team, whether it's Hero, whether it's Kendrick Nunn, whether it's Carlos Silva. It doesn't matter who's out there. They understand that they're not a physical team, so they will help out their bigs with rebounding. And they're helping out their team with defense. And when you can get that kind of maturity from these cats at this age, priceless, man. Priceless. And just impressive as hell to be able to see what's going on with the Miami Heat this season. 20-8, 9-7 now on the road. I mean, that's just absolutely phenomenal. All right, Panthers are off tonight. A little Oki. Tomorrow night, they will take on Dallas. The homestand continues. If I'm correct, I think are they 4-4 now in the homestand, I want to say? Or 5-4. Not sure now.
If I had to guess, I'd say 4-4.
Okay.
Those 3 losses in a row, man.
Oh, terrible.
Still
terrible. And they had a great night the other night. I mean, they were red hot.
Yeah, but you were playing nobody.
I know, but still, I got to give them a little love.
It was nice to score some
nice.
goals. Yes.
Now you got now you got Dallas. That will not be easy. And it's still at the BB&T Center, but you're not dominating either there. And I'm with you. Look, I was happy with the win, but I did not get excited because I said, hey, you got to do a lot more to get me excited now. Now I don't know if you're tricking me now. Now I get excited about this, and then you slap me with a loss. And so I get where you're coming from on that one.
Well, we had talked about it. We have always been in the 8, 9, 10, 11, and looking. That's where we are. And the thing about it is Tampa, Boston, Islanders. Those are, along with Washington, the top teams in the East.
The creme de la creme.
And they smacked us.
Yeah.
Which means that we're not there. We're not even.
Well, it did beat Tampa
once.
Okay.
And that was
here
a while ago.
Yeah, it was the answer back.
What was it? The second game of the season?
Yeah, it was the second. It was the back-to-back.
It's a situation. Those 3 games, losing those games, all the wonderful stuff we had done.
Oh no, they ruined it all.
Out.
Yeah, they ruined it all. They ruined everything.
We're back on the outside looking in.
Yeah. They sadly they ruined everything they did at the beginning of the season. Nobody can argue that. It's just impossible to argue that.
It's disheartening because we're right where we normally are.
Yeah.
At this point in the season.
Yeah. I don't think anybody can argue that one, man. Unfortunately, it's frustrating. It really is.
Yeah.
And I thought we were gonna have, because it looked. And you know what? I'm still gonna give the Panthers a little hope here in the end, but it was looking like, okay, the basketball team has surprised us. The hockey team's doing well to start off. Hey, we're gonna have a really good winter sports. That's really what it looked like. It looked like that's what we were headed to. And then look what ends up happening. Now the Panthers take all these steps back. The Heat continue to take steps forward, actually, because last night's win that's what it was. It was proving, it's sending out a message. Yo, we're for real. We're for real. Okay? We're for real. You don't take us serious, we'll kick your ass. And that's basically what the Heat said to the NBA last night. Hey, just want to remind you, we're 20-8. We're the 3rd best team in the conference right now. Milwaukee and Boston are the only teams in front of us. So look out. And you better. And we're getting that now from people around the league now. Now they're starting to say, hey, that Miami team is for real.
The thing that I like we're the only team to go into their place and
Yes.
kick them around.
Yeah, Milwaukee, Toronto, and Philly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
Yeah.
That is so impressive.
Yeah, super impressive. Yeah.
It gives me hope, really and truthfully. I mean, we know that in a 7-game series, a 5-game, it's a different animal. It's not one game. But the fact that you were able to go to their place and beat them, it gives me some hope that, you know what, we might be able to hold our own, man.
Maybe.
You know?
Maybe.
Just the fact that we're the only ones who have gone to their place, it's got a lot of validity to it, man.
Yeah. No, I get it. There's no doubt about that. Let me tell you a little bit about Caneswear. We love talking about Caneswear, Miami Fanwear. That's the spot where fans like moi shop. We love talking about Brett and all the amazing people there at Caneswear, folks. And it's more than a store, okay? It's an experience because when you go there, and if you're a Canes fan, you're going to see everything and anything possible with a Canes logo. They've also got Inter Miami. They got the shirts. They've ordered the jerseys. So when they do come out, they're going to have 2,000 jerseys. They've got Dolphins, Miami Heat, Florida Panthers, and even Miami Marlins there at Caneswear, Miami Fanwear. 2511 South University Drive in Davie. Tell them that Big O sent you. I promise you they're going to take care of you. Go see Brett and all the amazing people out there. Tell them that Big O sent you. Caneswear, Miami Fanwear. That's the spot for fans like moi shop. And I can't wait for the soccer teams to start. Because I'll be a supporter of all of them. And I'll be at all of those games. I'm probably going to have to drag Bill to some of those games because we'll do some work at some of those games. What do you think? You ready? You ready to do some soccer work? You ready?
Yeah, whatever we got to do.
That sounded, he was inspired, bro. I mean, he was pumped. Love my man, Bill. All right. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up here on the show, folks. Voice is hurting. We've done about 3.5 hours, so we got to thank all of you for tuning in. We thank Tim Murray from the Daily Line and NBC Sports, Michelle Kaufman, of course, Steve Ostroff, Herbie Lopez, all the great people out here at Toyota Hollywood. As always. We thank them for being big-time sponsors, making it nice and easy for us to broadcast out here every single month, starting in January, every single week. We will see you guys tomorrow at Hialeah Park, and we'll be broadcasting starting off at noon. Be good out there. See you tomorrow.
Have a good night.